What's up, everybody? I'm Jack Slater, aka the Comic Outlaw, yeah! And I hope you're ready because we are going back to the OG, like I said, OG X-Men First Class. And they are dealing with this first-rate Spider-Man villain, a creature of untold savagery and horror. As he lies in the swamps waiting for them, the lizard is back. And we start this off with basically just a woman walking her dog, kind of warning her off, because there might be something lurking in the swamp. The dog disappeared. What happened to the dog as the lizard lurks around? And of course the X-Men are all pumped up. They're going on a vacation to Florida. At least that's what Charles was saying. They're going to spend a little time getting a little sand and sun, relaxing. But of course, the swamp is there. And Xavier does have other motives. He goes and sees a biologist, an old friend. It ends up being Connor's wife. Yes, Xavier knows him. He's a brilliant scientist, and Xavier does dabble in different things, including genetics. And as you can see by his house, there's plenty of lizards there. And they go on to tell the tale how Connor's lost his arm on a landmine, got a fake arm, and used it as serum to inject himself and to become the lizard. And then the monster took over, and he decided he would never go back, and he disappeared into the swamps. But then Angel shows him that they're special too. They have wings. And she kind of gives him, telling him not to hurt her, her husband and everything. Angel kind of takes it a little personal. Beast says, he ought to stay too, because of his ability to jump from tree to tree, basically like a gorilla. So they would make the perfect team. And of course, that leaves Scott, Iceman, and Jean to go kick back and figure out what they're going to do. So Angel and Beast set off, and they are in a beautiful, beautiful beach house where they're getting ready in the bog. And of course, Xavier leaves them there to go look out for the lizard, where they're looking out at the beautiful view. And of course, they're not exactly having the best time in the world going through the swamp, drudging for the lizard. But these guys are Icemen, throwing a little ice Scott Summers way. Jean Grey's just sitting there being her fine self. And Beast is just pushing along with Angel aboard. But then they see something. That doesn't look like no ordinary alligator. It looks bigger, meaner, more savage. And most of all, bloodthirsty. Now the X-Men are enjoying some fun in the sun. Of course, Xavier kind of tells Iceman that, too much sun will probably be bad for his powers. And he communicates with Scott. And I think this is cool. He kind of gives Scott his opportunity to be with Jean. You gotta love Xavier for that. Meanwhile, Angel and Beast aren't exactly having the best time, as Angel's being dragged down into the depths, and Beast tries to fight him. Now, Beast is strong. Beast knows how to fight. But the lizard is stronger. And this is the lizard's area of expertise, his home field advantage. As Angel gets up on the boat, and Beast is stuck going one-on-one with the lizard. He takes him all the way down to the bottom of the river. Now, Beast can hold his breath for a little bit, but not that much more than a human being. And that's where Angel takes the oar and sticks it in the lizard's mouth. Of course, he snaps it right up. And now, Beast grabs Angel by his wing, which really hurts. I mean, those are attached to him, and pulls him up, but it's necessary. Of course, he's flapping all the water off, and they have to fly away to strategize and figure out what they're going to do in the swamp. Meanwhile, Jean and Scott Summers are having a good time. Look at the smile on Scott's face. How often do you see that man have a smile on his face? Accidentally kicks his sunglasses off. Jean does as she falls in the water. The beam flies out, but he tells him there's no one else around. Just take his glasses off for a minute and see the ocean with his own eyes, because he only sees ruby red. But when he takes those glasses off, he can actually see the ocean for itself. It's real color, real blue instead of red or purple. He sees it for a minute and he closes his eyes. And Jean tells him that he has to use his powers every once in a while. Even a racehorse gets out and runs. Meanwhile, Angel and Beast aren't exactly having the best time in the world. Xavier pops in and says that he can't find him due to all the life in the swamp. But out of nowhere, the lizard pops up and grabs Beast's leg. And of course, Angel grabs his tail, pulling him away. He got him. But the lizard does something dastardly and bites into his own tail because it'll roar right back. So Angel has a piece of the lizard's tail as the rest of him falls down into the water. And they're trying to figure out what they're going to do and how exactly they're going to catch him. Meanwhile, Jean and Scott are coming for their little dip in the ocean. Iceman says that he's needed, so he drives off. And of course, they're playing hot potato with the tail because neither of them want to hold on to it. Angel ends up being the poor guy that has to hold on to it because they don't want to leave any evidence. And the lizard comes after them, snaps a piece, a feather of Angel, and of course that hurts him because they are attached to him. And there's Bobby Drake waiting at the dock with Xavier. And he sticks his hand in and starts freezing the water and freezing everything around him. And since the lizard is cold-blooded, it stops him in his tracks. And they're able to put the serum in his mouth. And, Beast isn't exactly having a good time either. He'd rather be out playing volleyball than doing something like this. Connors turns back to normal. He wonders if his family's safe, that he didn't do anything to them. And they're fine, and so is the dog. And so is the dog, as Scott and Jean enjoy a little fun in the sun. And this adventure's done. X-Men First Class. And I'm Jack Slater. And I'll catch you on the flip side. Yeah.